Hello everybody and welcome to Mates, Movies and Malts, the Wee Hauf.
Hiya.
I have not consulted
Hello.
AI or any sort of introductory platform to be able to craft an introduction for me, so it's not going to be anywhere near as smooth, exciting or invigorating as Jordan's are for the main kind of episodes. I'm quite jealous.
These are all done by myself.
I know.
Fucking AI.
No one will understand this if this comes out before the Indiana Jones episode.
It won't.
No, because he did one the last time as well. So yeah, Jordan's doing his very professional intros and I'm just saying hiya. So we're going to crack on. It's a Wee Hauf, but it's a little bit different this week, guys. We're not talking about the latest and what's happened this week. We're going to record that next time. What we're about to talk about is actually some questions that you guys have asked us, which is genuinely, all jokes aside, and we do the whole kind of tongue-in-cheek jokes, and half of what we say is under the radar.
We've got no fan base.
We don't have much of a fan base, so somehow we've managed to garner a few questions, which we're quite excited about. So genuinely, to anybody that has spent any time watching this, thank you for engaging, thank you for sending this. We're going to have a chat about them. We've had a brief kind of look over them, and there's some really good questions, so we're going to chat about them just now. And listen, hopefully as the podcast grows and as you tell all your friends and they tell all their friends, eventually maybe get somewhere, and you will always be the first people that ever engaged with Mates, Movies and Malts.
Yeah.
You are our non-official Patreons.
Exactly.
Genuinely so grateful for anyone that actually takes the time to not just think up random questions that we can do, but actually take the time to email us about it. Honestly, we can't explain how excited we get at the idea that anyone engages with us about this stuff. It's amazing.
To be honest, I think you could do better. No, I'm kidding on. Thank you.
See, before we start, we've just completed like another episode. Does anybody fancy another whiskey?
Yes.
I am up for that.
So we just done a Chivas.
We did a Chivas Regal. It was the
Chivas.
straightforward whiskey. The straightforward Dr. Jones. Do you want to just see instead of that? Just want to crack into the Infinity Bottle for the first time?
Oh.
Seeing as we're engaging with the audience.
Oh fuck.
Yes.
Aye.
Fuck it. Aye, let's do it, man.
Why not?
I don't drive.
I'm into it.
Aye, let's do it.
The only issue is I'm worried that we might take a big chunk out of it.
Fuck it.
To hell with it, we can fill it.
Aye, we'll fill it.
Fuck it.
And I've still got most of the whiskies.
Yeah.
So aye.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
It's the chopper.
So,
Yeah. Keep on, Infinity Ball.
anyway,
It smells nice.
As well.
it smells unbelievable.
You don't shake this, you roll it. By the way. Is this fucking pond still? Oh, that smells spicy.
Real whiskey notes.
Fucking hell.
That smells like a hangover.
Jesus Christ. Right, okay, fair enough.
I'm
For
so
for
excited
those of
about
you
it.
who are uninitiated, that's a sip whiskey.
So I mean,
This is a Sam whiskey.
Just to remind myself, right, and I'm going to probably need, because there's definitely a few that I haven't listed, right, but thus far we have an 18-year-old Bal Blair,
Yep.
we have the Green Spot Irish with an 18-year-old Speyburn, we have Johnny Walker White Walker, the Aberfeldy 21-year-old, the Speyburn Rum Cast, Dalmore 15,
Yep.
Lagavulin 8, the Chivas,
Yep.
and there's at least one or two others in there that I need to know.
I think there's one more we're missing. I think there's one we're missing.
Was the really expensive one for the start? Is that in there? Or
No,
we
I didn't have enough.
That was only we just had enough for the three of us to
the
drink.
Bal Blair 35-year-old.
For the £1,000 bottle of whiskey that you keep going about.
I'm sorry I keep bringing that up.
I must say, it's the only time in my life I've ever had a miniature of £1,000 whiskey, and I chose to share it with you guys.
What a guy! What a fucking G!
Amazing.
So, that's so far. Thus far, that is the recipe. So let's do it. I'm going to pour it. You guys, let's start asking questions.
I will dive into
one for you too, Podmother.
the first listener question. And before we do that, we just want to say a massive belated happy birthday to the Podmother. Everybody say happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You guys can send your well wishes in the
That
comments.
was your present, by the way.
Thank you.
The Podmother turned 60 and we went to Italy with the weekend, me and my wife Kirsten and my mum and the Podfather Scott, and we had a fabulous time. It was really good fun, and you really enjoyed it, didn't you?
It was amazing.
And then
Absolutely amazing.
we did that. You got lots of lovely gifts. You got a new laptop, which was
It's been utilised
it's
tonight.
being used for the podcast, of course it is.
That's right, Peter bought it.
Scott got you a beautiful ring. You got a lovely new handbag for the choir, and then in May we're all going to Turkey.
We are. It's amazing.
I'm going to Turkey in May as well.
That's right. We're nearby actually.
I'm going to Balak.
Aye, so I need to have a look. But
We'll need to not meet up in Turkey.
since we meet up every week in Coatbridge.
Well, Pedro is pouring the whiskies for the night. I'm going to dive into the first question. So the first question we have comes from James Albert Francis McCarran. Jaffam, we call him.
Jaffam.
So he says, a question I've got ties in with the above points that he made that I'm not going to dive into. We talked about Joseph Quinn. Who is an actor that you can see within the next 5 to 10 years being a new household name or cinema draw?
Ooh.
He has given us an example. He says that Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chalamet's
That feels like low
already
hanging fruit.
got
Like he's
yeah.
almost.
Aye, fuck you, Jamie.
No, but again, I mean, to be fair, but he probably answered that about 6 months ago. Chalamet has exploded over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
He's exploded over a few things.
He has become like probably the biggest name in Hollywood just now. And so yeah, I mean that's an absolute guarantee. It's an interesting concept because the whole thing about going to the movie. Thank you.
I'm not down in this.
No, definitely not. Definitely.
I'll only put it in my right hand just because I couldn't reach across.
To choose. Jesus, that's amazing. That sounds amazing.
Shit, man, that is tasty.
It's really unusual.
Oh,
That's nice, man. We're on to something.
Oh, fuck me.
We are on to something.
That's very
It
tasty.
tastes better than it smells. It smells nice, but it
You
tastes
really
amazing.
do get the medicinal notes for the Lagavulin.
Oh, it comes through, doesn't it? That's the thing with like those kind of smoky iodine whiskies and stuff. I said when we talked about the Lagavulin, it was about the water content, which is a large part of it, but it's also the fact that they're peat smoked whiskies. So, and you'll get some whiskies outside of that
Smoked
region
some
that
peat
will
in my time.
actually use peat, like old dried mud, to smoke the whiskey, and you get peat notes and stuff like that. But the Islay whiskies are absolutely famous for it, and they are the best at it, and it's one of the things that Scotland really is the best in the world at, you know. That's unbelievable.
It's beautiful.
But I
It's a
so
hell of a mix.
It's so good.
yeah,
Who'd have thunk it?
kids are drunk. But not like the whole thing about the concept of going to a movie because of the person that's in it. I feel like has kind of died away a bit over the last kind of 20 years. It used to be, I'll go and see the new Brad Pitt movie, I'll go and see the new Christian Slater movie or whatever. Like
Broken
what was a draw. What a good film.
Great film.
I feel like that's died away a bit.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about that proper iconic A-list, who do I think is going to break into it? Chalamet's an obvious one. I think outside of people that have been in kind of Hollywood movies, inside in already in comic book movies and stuff like that, I'm trying to think of anybody that's right at the cusp. I think Glenn Powell, that I've mentioned a few times, he's about to become the new Ryan Gosling. I think that's what's going to happen for him in the next few years.
I would struggle to like think of someone that I would like say is a dead cert, but there's someone who seems to be in a lot of things now, and she's a lot of really good things. Isabella Merced.
Yeah.
I feel like
Because I was going to say Callie Spenny from Romulus.
yeah, she's been obviously she was in Alien Romulus and she was great in that.
Yeah.
Like her character in it is like I love her, and it's fucking tragic the way her character ends. But everything that she's in, and there's things that she's about to be in, obviously being cast in The Last of Us and stuff like that, she just seems to be. She's going to be Hawk Girl. And DC, not hot girl,
as we
hot
thought
girl.
the last time you were talking about.
She seems to be getting cast in all these roles, and I think she's going to be one of those people that everyone just recognises, not just her face but her name. She starts getting that name recognition, and anytime she releases something, people think that's probably going to be good.
Yeah, I think
For me, I think Aaron Taylor-Johnson is on the cusp of being the kind of breakout over the next 5 to 10 years. You know, he's just kind of done. He's done Kick-Ass, we know that. He's been in the MCU. He's done Craven, and he's now doing 20 years later.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to do more and more, and I think he's going to become more of a household name.
I think that's a good shout. I think, like, because he's been so famous, because he's been well known in our circles for a long time, right? I think you would maybe overlook him. But I think you're absolutely right, like, because he's extremely heavily fancied to be the next James Bond.
Yeah.
I know you guys aren't that.
Yeah.
Have you seen Bullet Train?
Yes, he's so good in
Fucking
Bullet Train, man.
amazing in
And
Bullet
you know,
Train.
since that,
Aye.
I feel like
That is a particularly great shout because I've felt for the last few years he's one brilliant roll away from really breaking out.
Yeah.
from becoming the leading man, or becoming like his name being like Chalamet, like
Yeah,
his now,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? I think it's a tremendous shout. Bullet Train was a fantastic film.
Great film.
And another one is maybe a bit left field, but somebody that I think is on the cusp of becoming what they probably should have been previously is Colin Farrell.
Do you think his recent performances are reminding everyone how good he is?
Penguin,
fucking hell, man.
I think he's really people are starting to cotton on to the fact that he's not just the good-looking Irish guy that plays the same, because he was always a good actor, but even right back in the day when he was doing Phone Booth and The Recruit and all that, he started to break
Phone Booth was amazing.
He looked like he was going to be the next best thing, right? And then it kind of dwindled a little bit, right? And all the while he's still putting in top class performances, but not in worldwide fare. Do you know what I mean? Like In Bruges wasn't an international super smash. It's a film that people enjoy that know about films.
It's a cult following.
Exactly, right? I think he's on the verge of like being this generation's De Niro. I
think that's fair, because everything he's putting out just now is maybe like the movie itself isn't like a smash hit or anything like that, but everyone talks about how good his performance is consistently.
I'll say it now. I'll put my money on it. You don't even know what he's got on the slate and stuff. I'll put my money on it. Colin Farrell's get an Oscar in the next 5 years. Yeah, and do you know who a good example who's followed this trajectory just ever so slightly ahead of him is Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy's went for...
Is it not Killian?
I call him Killian, but Peter's pals with him, but...
No, I get that,
I'm
because
Killian and Max stay things ago.
Cillian Murphy's whole thing was that he seemed to... No one ever wanted to cast him as the leading man in any of these movies, so all he did was be the best thing in most of his movies.
I think Peaky Blinders really changed that for him.
Absolutely. The way he carried himself in that role.
But even then, even at the level of success that Peaky Blinders got, it was still a TV show.
It's
the best
movie coming out.
It has, but but it was still a TV show. It's been 5 or 6 seasons of a TV show. There's a British TV show, right? Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And it's because his relationship with Christopher Nolan. He auditioned, he was very, very close for Batman.
Yeah.
He was apparently very close with the Joker as well.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan knew this guy's a superstar. I just don't know what film I want to make him the main guy in. So he turned up and everything. And then Oppenheimer. And he's won the Oscar. He was unbelievable in the film. It's a tour de force. He's amazing in it. And I think it's the Oppenheimer role for Colin Farrell that I think's coming in the post in the next 2 or 3 years.
And I hope he gets it, because he deserves it.
Man,
He's that good.
Totally agree.
Fair.
Love that. Thanks for the question.
Thanks, Jaffam.
Thanks very much, mate.
So moving on to our next listener question comes from the fucking handsome John Robertson. So John Robertson doesn't want to... It's not a question as such, it's more a game he likes to play. It's called Front, Middle or Back. And it's not sexual. So the premise is, pick your ideal movie to go see in the cinema. Can be old or new.
Okay.
So let's get an idea of our ideal picture.
So your ideal movie to go and see in the cinema.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I've been thinking about this. I would love to have seen Demolition Man in the pictures.
Oh fucking hell, what a pull.
That's a shit.
Demolition.
Yeah, that's not the only thing
What
I
an
pull.
underrated film.
So my movie that I'm picking is Demolition Man.
That's a really
So you can
really
pick an old film, you
shout,
can pick a new film, you can pick something that's still to come out.
Right. If I could manifest this one cinema experience.
What I will say is John has caveated this already by saying, yes, Stefan, you can pick the Three Musketeers.
Well, that's very nice of you. But if I was going to get to re-experience something, particularly if I can just say this is going to be me experiencing it for the first time, I would pick Jurassic Park.
Oh,
if I could see Jurassic Park...
He's fucking raging. He's raging.
I done it.
If I could see Jurassic Park in the cinema again, and is this like the whole where are you sitting and all that stuff?
So the first part is pick a movie. Let's pick a movie first of all.
Right, I'm going to pick Jurassic Park so I can experience that again for the first time.
So the game is called Front, Middle or Back.
Did you see Jurassic Park in the cinema the first time?
No.
So that's the crux, because for me, and I've mentioned it before, Jurassic Park was the film that made me fall in love with cinema. Right? I loved dinosaurs as a kid. I was 7 when it came out, 1993, and I went and saw it, and I remember the feeling. It's one of my kind of formative childhood memories. I remember the feeling of just being like that the whole time. It was real. Every day it was
I
real.
done that with Titanic and Kate Winslet got her tits out.
It was Jamie Lee Curtis and Trading Places with me.
Oh,
but,
wow.
No, I remember that feeling with Jurassic Park, right? And it's a tremendous shout, because that, to this day, 30 years later, 32 years later, still looks phenomenal.
And this is my thing, because my first experience of Jurassic Park was experienced at watching it on VHS. So getting to watch it on the small screen, that moment where you first see the dinosaurs and the actors are selling it, in that moment of how huge this is.
This is my thing, and this is how huge it is. You kept going.
Life finds a way.
I know, honestly.
I would have loved to have experienced that in the cinema at the time. So if I'm getting to pick a moment that I missed out on, if I get to go back and relive that, I'm picking Jurassic Park.
Right, so I'm Demolition Man, he's Jurassic Park. What are you picking, Pedro?
Space Jam. No. It's got to be Star Wars for me. It's got to be.
A New Hope?
Aye, and I
New Hope, right, fair.
I imagine for me, A New Hope came out when I was
Stefan seen that when it first came out. He was at the premiere. Right, so you're New Hope. So
His godson, George Lucas.
The next part is we now need to pick the screening type we're going to see. So I'm just going to see standard 2D. I don't want to see Demolition and Man in 3D. Jurassic Park might be a good shout to see in 3D, but
see this in 3D, does it make it the 9 seashells? Oh, you don't even know how to use that seashell.
John Spartan. What screening type are you going to see?
I don't. 3D's in 3D sounds great, but remember we went and saw Doctor Strange. That fucking gave me a headache.
We saw that in IMAX, but we had to fucking what the fuck is going on here?
I think 3D was too much, and I don't think I need it because no one else needed it.
So you're going to Jurassic Park 2D?
Yeah, Jurassic Park 2D.
I'm Demolition Man 2D.
And I would say Star Wars. Do you know? I'll just to be different. I would love to see if they were able to work it with the effects and stuff like that. I would love to see the original Star Wars in IMAX.
Cool. Now the next part of the question is, what time of day are you going? Are you going early morning with the perverts? Are you going? Are you going midday?
I feel like you've already decided I can't pick.
He's going early morning.
You can't go early morning because I've already been there.
So what time are you going at? Are you going early morning? Are you going afternoon? Are you going evening when it's going to be busiest with people finishing work?
Man.
It's the 4 o'clock showing because I want to go to dinner and talk about this afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm way that, by the way.
I like lunchtime. I'm more than happy with a 12-1 lunchtime. Go and watch it, chill out, and then go and get on with your day.
Brilliant.
And whoever I went and saw it with needs to understand that all we're talking about at dinner is that movie we just saw.
Oh, aye. Do you know the best thing about it when you go and see a film during the day, but is when you come out and you've been in pitch black, and then you come out and it's still daylight. You're like, what's going on?
Fuck's happening?
How's it not midnight?
Are you drinking pints beforehand? Are you going for pints after to talk about it, to do a debrief? Not when we just take our pants off and talk about the films.
Oh, aye, when we debrief.
If I'm going to see Jurassic Park, I'll have a drink with dinner. No,
right, okay, after.
My absolute favourite cinema experience in today's day and age is to go to the Everyman Cinema in Glasgow and sit and drink
nice
old fashions, lovely big pint of beer,
cool.
Nice comfy couch, man.
There's a problem with that though, because I went and saw Thor Love and Thunder at the Everyman.
That was the problem.
And I was sitting I was drinking, I was having food, and that tricked me into thinking that was an amazing.
I remember that's why you liked it. Aye, exactly. There's no amount of fucking alcohol in the world that would make me think that was a good film. Oh, this is Battle with the God of Chinese Buns. What?
I can't. I remember I remember you talking about that after I went and saw it, and I was trying to justify why it was good.
It makes me so angry, man.
Before you go to the cinema, are you buying snacks on the way there, or are you buying overpriced cinema snacks?
If it's the Everyman, you're buying the overpriced cinema snacks, man.
Even if it's a showcase, I'm buying the overpriced cinema snacks.
Oh no, showcase, I'll take my shit.
So give me my showcase, and I'm buying my shit beforehand.
Give me my pick a mix and my showcase sweet popcorn, and I'm happy.
How come you always made me dive into the body pound stretcher before we went?
No. You were going there anyway.
And then the last part of John's question: where are you sitting in the cinema? Are you front, middle, or back?
I am either the back, or left, or right corner because there's only 4 seats. And if I pre-book those seats, no one else is fucking sitting
There's
next to
mainly
me.
only 3, but okay.
There's 4?
Not the showcase, there isn't.
At the showcase, there's
There's
4.
only 3.
Don't fucking argue with me about this, there's 4.
Pedro, where are you sitting?
There used to be 4, now there's 3 with the new seats.
Fuck off.
I think. Anyway,
Why is this an argument?
dead centre, 2/3 of the way back.
So you're front?
No, 2/3.
2/3, sorry, 2/3
of the way back.
I am bang in the middle. I
Huh?
am there to be
Man,
encased
there's people
in...
everywhere.
I don't give a fuck.
Man.
Not
Fuck all
at
those
2
people.
o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, isn't it?
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Fuck all those people.
Aye, okay.
I think that's a fucking great question.
I like it.
That's a really, really good
builds your
question. I like
cinematic
that one.
experience.
I
I
like it.
pure why I do it.
Thank you so much, the beautiful John Robertson.
Thanks, John. I hear
You
you're
need one?
a
You show me
very
a picture of this
handsome
guy.
man.
I will, I'll show you.
John, if you're that good looking, are you interested in playing Indiana Jones in a recasting?
He could play Indiana Jones. John is the guy who loved your chunky knit.
I see your man's got style, clearly.
He
The man has got
he-
taste.
The more I hear about this guy, the more I like him.
He demanded more chunky knit.
Aye, okay, I'm with it.
So our next question comes from Mark Forrest. Now, one thing I do want to say about this guy is it's 2025 and he does not have a freezer in his gaff.
Oh, so it's not lined with lead then?
It's not. He has a fridge that's like
No,
that,
hang on, hang the fuck on.
but you can only put his top half in it.
He doesn't have a freezer.
He doesn't have a freezer. What is your thoughts on that in 2025? A single guy living on his own without a freezer.
That's really stupid because they have fucking frozen chips that are specific for air fryers.
So-
What are you doing?
He has a way around that. And do you know what his way around is?
What?
Fridgeable chips. So McCain do a range of fridgeable chips.
I don't want to hear about your
Wow.
fridgeable chips.
Yeah,
I
keep
personally
on.
Because
think in
you can-
2025, if you don't have an easily accessible freezer in your kitchen, it's because you've got an unaccessible freezer somewhere in your garage.
Listen, not even talking about just the normal things you would use a freezer for. What if last minute you decide, fuck it, I need a couple of drinks tonight, and the fridge ain't gonna get the fucking beers cold enough, quick enough, I'm gonna shove them in the freezer.
Or-
You don't have a fucking freezer?
Or you want a couple of halves, where's the ice?
Exactly, what the fuck are you doing?
It's a hot summer's day, you want a Twister ice lolly?
Fuck off, you absolute
was this
fucking...
guy's name again?
He's a sociopath and a serial killer.
Yeah, apparently, Mark, you've stumbled on a bit of a contentious topic. We feel passionately about this. Get a fucking freezer.
By the way, see if there's ever been anyone that you want to fucking just like phone the police on just for like no other reason than, by the way, there's something off about this guy.
Aye. I always knew there was something wrong.
You've no idea how happy
Aye.
Jaffin's going to be about this, by the way.
Oh
Right,
my
so
God.
Mark has a couple of questions for us. So question number 1, who's your favourite villain of all time? His is Hans Landa.
That's a good one.
It's a fucking
That's
great
a
one.
really good
He's
one.
redeemed himself there.
He has a bit.
So your favourite villain of
I mean,
all
that's
time.
fine, but Hans Landa had a fucking freezer in 1942.
He did have a freezer and he kept a lot of questionable things.
Favourite villains, I'm automatically leaning towards the Joker, but I worry that I'm then tied into every iteration of the Joker.
Well, the problem
where
is
I
when you
feel
pick
like
the Joker is you
it's
can't pick Darth Vader and there's one correct answer and it's Darth Vader.
I know,
It's the
he's-
best and most iconic
My
villain of all time.
the only reason I wouldn't pick Darth Vader is the fact that in the end of he redeems
He's a good
himself.
guy.
I like my villains to be
Villains?
black and white monsters.
I didn't know that was
and I
coming.
think
No, but again, like, just because he redeems himself, like, I mean, there's times where the Joker started teamed up in support in comics and stuff like that, and actually helped catch people and stuff like that.
name it.
Like that time, the Joker teamed up with Batman.
And they call that guy
There's
that
times
one
I wish I could possibly remember what comics forever. I will remember it. There was, I'm sure, an episode in the animated series, but the fact is that just because he redeemed himself didn't mean he didn't murder millions of children.
Yeah, absolutely murdered children.
Like even in Revenge of the Sith, when he still looks like Anakin, he walks out and he just kills a big bunch of children.
Get it, man.
The
but
man
just-
is black and evil.
if you like the ultimate villain, it's someone that has no redeemable qualities for me.
But he didn't have redeemable qualities.
Darth Vader.
He tried to become Anakin again.
If you make the distinction between Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader, I get where you're coming from. 100% Darth Vader's a terrible villain. I still think Palpatine's a worse villain in that exact same universe because he's out and out.
But again, it's the question is who's your favourite?
Who's my favourite? I know when I said the
Aye.
Joker, then you started
I
giving me
said
shit,
because
so
it's
then I picked
incorrect
Darth Vader.
because it's Darth Vader.
Who's
But
yours?
Joker. No, but you know, what I will say is that Mark's suggestion of Hans Landa, I think, is an amazing suggestion, right? Like, that's an unbelievable shout. That opening kind of 10-12 minute scene of him with Shoshana and intimidating the French.
It's not even that, when it comes back again, he makes the house out of mashed potatoes and he puts the fag out as a chimney.
Aye.
That was fucking...
He's so sinister, right? And he was brilliant at that, right? I think it's maybe a slightly different question, is if you were saying who's your favourite villain. Mine's it's either the Joker or Darth Vader, right? Like, because they're both all-time iconic. But if you're thinking about different performances and stuff, Christoph Waltz's Hans Landa is right up there.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey is maybe not necessarily somebody you always want to talk about, but him in Seven is unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's performances out there that are just unreal.
There's also one that's just come to mind just because of how much I enjoyed both iterations that I've seen, and it's Hannibal Lecter. Purely just, not just because of how good Anthony Hopkins was, but Mads Mikkelsen as well in the TV show. I know that in what was it called? Manhunter. Sorry, that's really, really good. But the TV show. Did you just watch the TV show?
No, I've not watched it. But
Hannibal. Mads Mikkelsen.
He was brilliant.
He's incredible in it, and it gave like a new. I don't know if it was new, but it was like a different perspective on that character as well. But it never took away from the horror that comes from what he does. Yeah. So Hannibal Lecter is just an out-and-out villain. He's right up there as well.
Jordan, any thoughts?
One of my go-to thoughts is Willy Wonka. So Willy Wonka did not want to be in charge of that factory anymore, and he was fucking determined to pass that on to someone else. I don't think Willy Wonka was a good guy. Like,
I don't think he was necessarily a good guy, but I don't know if that makes you the ultimate all-time super killer villain.
No, I wouldn't say he's my favourite villain, but he's definitely up there. I've got a very different take on these movies. I think Cruella de Vil's up there as one of the best villains of all time.
Oh no, absolutely.
Just out there to kill fucking helpless animals.
I was thinking Scar.
Honestly, my whole thing about
Scar as well.
If you're going to be one of the best villains, you need to have no redeemable qualities. So yeah, Scar, Cruella de Vil, they all did.
Again, that was my point about the Darth Vader thing, is that he didn't have redeemable qualities just because he killed the
But you have to make the distinction between Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. You have to ignore
what you have to distinguish between is whether or not you accept that killing Palpatine redeemed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it didn't redeem.
I'm sorry, but saving your son
after killing 25 million Waynes.
That's 50-50.
Fair enough. I mean,
100%. Listen.
Doesn't make you a good guy.
You're going to be a father. I am a father. Listen, you're very, very close to understanding why.
We've now pushed this episode back 6 months, folks, because we're not telling everybody yet.
Sorry,
that's alright.
Cut that bit out early.
We'll get that post, I apologise.
But listen, Anton Chigurh, No Country for Old Men.
Great.
Oh, great, phenomenal. There's another couple came out of my head there. We mentioned Scar. Voldemort, MD for Voldemort.
100%.
My
Hans motherfucking Gruber.
Yeah. My issue with
Joseph Takagi.
My issue with just Harry Potter generally is always going to impact how much I
You don't like folk with glasses.
rate him.
He hates
You don't like
Germans.
folk with
He's
glasses.
French, he hates Germans obviously.
I hate myself.
Right, next. Sorry, Mark. Good question. Weird visa situation, but good question.
He's got more.
Oh, happy days. Right on, Mark's next one.
So Mark,
This is it. He's got all this time to ask questions because none of his drinks are cold.
he's waiting for the ice to melt.
Long Coke Zero. Coke 5 above 0.
Part 2 of Mark's question is, who's your biggest animated hear me out? I'll kick that off with Lola Bunny.
Okay, there is no hear me out required.
So
I'm glad I've got Arthur
get
in Cage.
I think Lola Bunny's a fucking puss.
Aye.
Okay, animated hear me out. Steve, you got one?
Oh, I'm trying to think, and I feel bad now because I can't remember her name. Do you remember the Hercules cartoon?
Yeah. The film?
What was the girl? What was the woman's name?
Meg.
Meg, 100%. She was
a goth.
She was one. There was something there.
Right, okay.
Something about her was just like
Meg.
Okay, I'm curious now. I'm interested.
I am racking my brains.
Well, Peter's thinking, Mark, we want to know who your biggest animated hero is, you fucking pervert.
Peter Griffin.
Well, there's the man without a freezer.
It's trying to think here. Immediately I went to Lois Griffin.
She's not a hear me out.
Aye.
Well,
No,
Lola Bunny's not really a hear me out.
No.
Technically, anybody animated is a
As a
hear
hear
me
me out. The obvious one that everybody thinks about is Jessica Rabbit, innit? Like,
Yeah,
go
out.
down that
She's
route.
not a hear me out.
What was the what about, can't remember her name. Fucking the nurse for Pokemon.
Oh shit, I know exactly
Or
what
all
you're
the
talking
nurses
about.
from Pokemon with green hair.
Because they always look exactly the same, but no, there's one in particular.
Give me 48 of them,
Aye.
and I'll put them all in the freezer.
And Mark's final part, he couldn't come up with a question number 3, but he would love to be a mascot for the podcast.
Get a
Yes,
freezer.
Mark, you can definitely be a mascot for our podcast. We will have you on anytime you want to come, buddy. You're-
Absolutely, mate.
if anybody's going to Turkey soon, use the code MARK410
What are we going to call
at
him
the
if he's
checkout
at
for
Listen.
10% off your next beer transfer.
Mate,
He's going to be
the only thing we're going to fucking call is the police with his fucking hero, because we know where he is.
if he's going to be a mascot, what are we going to call him? Because I'm thinking Captain Room Temperature. Cool.
Captain, that's not cold enough. Brilliant. The next question we have comes from the legendary Al Thompson. This is the last question of the week,
The
folks.
man himself.
So the legendary Al Thompson, long-term listener, first-time emailer. Are there any books
One-time guest.
you have read that... 2 times. Are there any books that you have read that you would think would make a great film adaptation that has not already been on the big screen? All my love, Al Thompson. P.S. Sorry if you've already discussed this. We have not discussed this, Al. This will be the first time we talk about this. I have recently read well, not read. I can't read. I'm dyslexic. I've been listening to a book that made me think of another book that I really want to get made into a TV show, and apparently it's in the talks. It's a book called Red Rising. It's part of a trilogy. There's Red Rising, there's Golden Sun, and then there's something else that comes off the back of it. It's kind of like Hunger Games. It's set on Mars. Apparently this is already set to be a TV show, and it's fucking amazing.
Nice.
If you have never read it or listened to the audiobook, please check out Red Rising, and also please check out Fourth Wing. But this is also due to become a TV show, and I get slagged because it's meant to be a Birds book, but it's class.
Fair play.
Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
My immediate go through with that. Now they did a weird kind of TV version of one of the books that was like an hour long or something, right? And I'm sure it started Stephen Mangan from like Green Wing and stuff like that. You know, the guy with curly hair and glasses. And extras, episodes and stuff like that. They were my favourite books growing up, and I've read them again in the last kind of few years. The Adrian Mole books.
Yeah.
Right, the secret diary of Adrian Mole.
Yeah.
Confessions of a 13-and-a-half-year-old or whatever else. They are the funniest books I've written by somebody called Sue Townsend. And they are the funniest books I ever read in my entire life. And I would love them to be done properly, an actual proper adaptation into film form. I think they would go nuts. They're so funny. If you've not read them, read them. That's all I'll say. They're just genius.
Okay.
Absolute genius.
So I've not read a lot of books, but I remember when Fight Club came out, I started reading a lot of Chuck Palahniuk stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I read, now this is kind of a cheat because it's already been made into a film, and I don't think the film was very good. It's Choke.
I liked it. The Sam Rockwell
With Sam Rockwell one. Fine as a movie. I think it drifted too far away from what the movie was supposed to be.
Actually, I've not read the book.
And if someone was to try and make that one again nowadays and try and be a little bit more respectful of the source material, I think you get a very weird indie film that, funnily enough, I think Sam Rockwell would be great in, but I think it got sanitised a wee bit too much, and they got away from what was supposed to be the actual message of that book or film once it was made. And I think there's something really special that could be made in there, and they missed it when they tried to make it. So I don't know if it would work if you tried to make it again, but I always remember reading that book and being really, really impressed by it. and really enjoying the ending of it, and being really disappointed by the adaptation that came from it, and feeling shortchanged by the ending of the movie compared to what the book delivered. And some people can try and fucking tell me that, oh, the movie's actually really, really close. Fuck off. You didn't fucking get it.
Fuck off.
Like, you either didn't get it or you didn't fucking pay attention enough, and you're going for like the literal interpretation of what it did. It wasn't a fair reflection of it. I love Sam Rockwell. No one loves Sam Rockwell more than I do. That was not a fair reflection of what the book was meant to mean when it comes to like an actual film. That was sanitized by fucking somebody that watched Fight Club too many times and thought, I know what this is supposed to be, and it wasn't. Completely different message, and they fucking missed out on it. And I think if they tried it again now, somebody could get it right.
Fair.
So there you go, Al. In answer to your question, what books that haven't been turned into a film
That
would you like
have
to turn
been
into a film? Stefan hates Choke.
And he wants to make Fight Club into a film.
Yeah.
I think one more thing is there's a very, very little known author called J.K. Rowling who wrote
You were making the same. I was reading one recently about a guy called Junior R. Tolkien.
Yeah. About a wizard that goes to a school up in the north of Scotland. Makes a lot of pals and they get in a lot of trouble. I think that could be
Anybody heard about this guy George Martin? Apparently he does some pretty good
George
stuff as well.
Martin.
No, I can't say that I have.
So there we have it. That is the listeners' questions from the last 3 months. This week.
The listeners' questions, which there was loads more because
We had to whittle it down.
Yeah,
you know,
we've honestly been so successful that we're inundated with questions.
Yeah.
So we just picked the 4 best.
If anybody has any other suggestions for us or anything else you want us to talk about, please drop us an email at matesmoviesmults@gmail.com.
Yeah. Do us one favour though, don't ask Stefan how he feels about Choke.
Please don't. He likes being choked. On that bombshell, bye bye.